The tragic life of Bob Lilly seems to tell a story of horrible endings. A legendary football hero reduced to being crippled with pain by a debilitating autoimmune disease, and a terrifying night when his wife of 52 years nearly died from a stroke. But these moments don't define Bob Lilly's legacy. Instead, they reveal the true measure of the man they called Mr. Cowboy, a story of extraordinary resilience that began long before he ever stepped onto a football field. The most recent chapter of Lilly's life unfolded on February 27, 2025, when his wife Anne woke him in the middle of the night, complaining of a sudden, excruciating headache. In that moment of panic, the same instincts that made Lilly a legendary football player took over. He checked her pulse, knew something was terribly wrong, and without hesitation called 911. His swift action proved life-saving. Anne was diagnosed with a life-threatening hemorrhagic stroke. Doctors delivered a grim prognosis. If we don't operate, she's dead. She was rushed into emergency brain surgery, where doctors removed a portion of her skull to relieve pressure on her brain. The aftermath was a grueling 2-month ordeal, including time on a ventilator, a tracheostomy, feeding tube, and intensive therapy. Through it all, Bob never left her side, serving as her caregiver and source of unwavering strength. His actions that February night are directly credited with saving her life. This heroism represents just the latest chapter in a lifetime of overcoming impossible odds. If you want to understand true resilience, stick around because Bob Lilly's story will show you what it really means to never give up. The foundation of Lilly's resolve was forged long before he became a football legend in the harsh landscape of West Texas during one of the most devastating natural disasters in the state's history. Born in Olney, Texas on July 26, 1939, and raised in Throckmorton, Bob's early life seemed destined for athletic greatness. Between 8th and 10th grade, he shot up from 5 feet 8 inches to 6 feet 4 inches, becoming a multi-sport star who averaged 27 points per game in basketball and won the state javelin championship. But this idyllic portrait was set against a backdrop of catastrophe. The 1950s brought a historic drought to Texas, so severe it was considered the state's drought of record for over half a century. From 1950 to 1957, the rain simply stopped coming. For farmers and ranchers, it was an apocalypse in slow motion. Verdant pastures turned to cracked earth. Streams ran dry. Livestock grew skeletal, forcing heartbreaking decisions to sell herds for pennies. The Lilly family was not immune. Bob's father was a farmer whose livelihood was tied to the health of the land. As the drought tightened its grip, the economic hardship became unbearable. Before Bob's senior year, the family was forced to leave their Texas home. They became climate refugees, relocating to Pendleton, Oregon, where Bob's father found work clearing land for developers. This forced migration stripped young Bob of his home and everything he knew, instilling in him a first-hand understanding of loss and perseverance. Despite success in Oregon, Lilly's identity remained firmly planted in Texas. After accepting a scholarship to Texas Christian University, he and a friend drove 1,600 miles nonstop from Pendleton to Fort Worth, surviving on 60 ham sandwiches and a few gallons of lemonade. At TCU, Lilly became a force of nature. He became a 2-time All-Southwest Conference selection and a consensus All-America choice in 1960. His legendary strength was demonstrated when he lifted a Volkswagen parked in his spot and moved it to the sidewalk, a feat known as the Lilly test that no one else could replicate. When the Dallas Cowboys got their first draft pick in 1961, they used it to select Bob Lilly, making him officially the first Cowboy. Initially playing defensive end, his true potential was unlocked when coach Tom Landry moved him to defensive tackle in 1963. From this position, Lilly's unprecedented combination of size, strength, and quickness made him the centerpiece of the famed Doomsday Defense. His individual dominance was undeniable. He was selected to 11 Pro Bowls and was a first-team All-Pro for 6 consecutive seasons. Yet this personal excellence was set against stunning team frustration. The Cowboys developed a maddening habit of falling just short, earning the nickname next year's champions. The most painful losses came against Green Bay. In the 1967 championship game at Lambeau Field, known as the Ice Bowl, the temperature was -13 degrees with wind chill, reaching -48 degrees. After battling back to take a 17-14 lead, Green Bay scored with 16 seconds left on a quarterback sneak. This wasn't just a loss. It cemented the idea that Dallas was destined to fall short. The heartbreak continued with playoff losses to Cleveland and a Super Bowl V defeat to Baltimore on a last-second field goal. As the team's defensive anchor, Lilly felt somewhat personally responsible for these failures. The situation was uniquely frustrating. While the team was infamous for its inability to win, Lilly was assembling one of the most dominant careers in football history. But redemption was coming. The 1971 season represented a moment of reckoning. Coach Tom Landry handed the quarterback reins to Roger Staubach, whose cool leadership complemented the team's suffocating defense. The Cowboys marched through the playoffs to face Miami in Super Bowl VI. In the first quarter, Bob Lilly made one of the most memorable plays in Super Bowl history. Miami quarterback Bob Grease dropped back to pass. From his defensive tackle position, Lilly exploded off the line with his trademark quickness, blew past his blocker, and pursued Grease relentlessly. Near the 10-yard line, Lilly launched himself at the quarterback, wrapping him up for a staggering 29-yard loss, a Super Bowl record that still stands. The play was more than athletic dominance. It was a definitive statement that this Cowboys team was different. Years of pent-up frustration were unleashed in that single act. The Cowboys went on to win 24-3, setting Super Bowl records for most rushing yards and fewest points allowed. After the game, Lilly was seen with a Texas-sized victory cigar, the image of profound relief from a man who had finally reached the summit. He would play 3 more seasons before retiring in 1974 with a legacy of unparalleled consistency. He played 196 consecutive regular season games, missing only a single contest in his entire 14-year career. Unlike many contemporaries, Lilly's life after football revealed hidden depths of character. His passion for photography, sparked by a camera he received as a college All-American, became a defining feature. This work culminated in his 1983 book, Bob Lilly Reflections. Following retirement, Lilly operated a successful beer distribution company in Texas. But in 1982, after witnessing a traffic accident caused by a drunk driver, Lilly was so deeply affected that he decided he could no longer be part of the industry. He sold the company, a decision driven by conscience, demonstrating that his personal values superseded financial gain. The greatest challenges of Bob Lilly's life would come long after football, opponents he could not overpower with strength. Years after retirement, Lilly was diagnosed with polymyalgia rheumatica, a severe autoimmune disease that causes intense pain and stiffness. For the Iron Man who played 196 consecutive games, the effect was devastating. In his own words, the disease reduced him to near helplessness. "I went from a completely active adult to being crippled with pain," he recalled. "It felt like one day I woke up and my world came crumbling down. I was in so much pain that I could not even pull myself out of bed." He lost 50 pounds rapidly and described looking like a ghost, unable to perform simple tasks like combing his hair or dressing himself. The irony was profound. The man once celebrated for superhuman durability was now trapped in a body that had betrayed him. His health challenges were compounded by a heart murmur, atrial fibrillation, and mitral valve prolapse. Seeking relief, Lilly pursued stem cell therapy and reported significant improvements, including restored range of motion and, remarkably, the disappearance of his heart murmur. The ultimate test of Lilly's resilience came not in a stadium, but in his home that February night in 2025. The heroism displayed in that moment of terror represents a different order of heroism entirely, one born of love, clarity under extreme pressure, and profound duty. To measure Bob Lilly's legacy solely by his Pro Football Hall of Fame bust is to capture only a fraction of the man. His true legacy is a story of quiet dignity, artistic vision, moral conviction, and astonishing resilience. The boy who fled the Texas drought developed fortitude no football opponent could match. The player who endured gut-wrenching defeats cultivated resolve that made his Super Bowl triumph a catharsis for an entire franchise. The man who battled crippling disease found deeper power in vulnerability and the will to heal. And the husband who acted with decisive love to save his wife's life demonstrated heroism that transcends sport. Bob Lilly stands as a powerful testament to the enduring capacity of the human spirit to withstand, adapt, and ultimately triumph over life's challenges. His story reminds us that true greatness is measured not just in victories, but in the quiet strength to persevere when everything seems lost. If this story of incredible resilience inspired you, make sure to subscribe for more amazing tales of human triumph.